Oh, man, hey, dude, that's gross.
Welcome to the best pro wrestling podcast.
I was telling them a story. I'm not finished yet.
What does that mean?
You done flapped the wrong jack, sucker!
What else?
All the women want to walk with Elias.
This is the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Tommy Stryker. Joining me, as always, is Taco.
What up?
Joe is here.
Hello.
And on this show, we talk about the best pro wrestling in the world. If you're new to the show, thanks for checking it out. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it, tell other people about it, and join the conversation at BPW Podcast on Twitter, Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. All those plugs, all those social media links will be in the description for the podcast. We got a lot to talk about today because number one, obviously we're coming up quickly on the Royal Rumble, so we got the Raw and Smackdown, all that to go through, but a ton of news. We got NXT to talk about that's heating up for the big NXT takeover in Philadelphia. We're going to talk also a little Ring of Honor this week. We usually talk Ring of Honor and New Japan over on the Strong Honor podcast, but we're not going to do that as its own podcast this week. There's just not enough there. New Japan's getting ready to do the Fantastic-a-Mania shows coming up this weekend, but they don't really have anything newsworthy going on since New Year's Dash and Wrestle Kingdom. So if you want to hear more about our thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash, check out the last version of Strong Honor. Just go to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com on this feed, or in the exclusive Strong Honor feed, you can find that show where we're talking about Wrestle Kingdom and all that.
We should just do a Toriano best of episode.
We really should. Speaking of best ofs, I've been given a poll to fill out for the voicesofwrestling.com website. They're doing this top 10 matches of 2017, and they're polling wrestling media, podcasters, bloggers, you name it. If you're quote involved in wrestling media, even though I don't really count myself as part of the media, I'm just a fucking fan doing a podcast.
We're just geeking out with each other.
Right, we're just geeking out. We're fans. We're talking wrestling, but we have opinions. So I volunteered, or I threw my name in the hat. Yeah, I'll take a survey and I'll fill it out. And I haven't actually filled it out yet. Of course, the deadline is coming up here this weekend, I believe.
But you were one of those students, weren't you?
Yes, I was. But yeah, I'm thinking my whole top 10 is probably coming out of New Japan from last year, because there were so many great matches. But I mean, there was that awesome AR Fox and Shane Strickland match out of Lucha Underground, the John Cena AJ Styles match from Royal Rumble last year.
Oh, sure.
I would include the triple threat with AOP, DIY, and who else? And Revival.
And Revival. And also from an NXT, Tyler Bate and Dunn. Pete Dunne, yes. So, yeah.
I always want to call him Dune.
But yeah, there's a lot of things to choose from. Of course, all the great matches from New Japan. So I'll fill that out this week. Maybe we'll get into talking about that next week. And once the full results come out on voicesofwrestling.com, that'll be something we could talk about here with all the podcasters, bloggers, and assembled wrestling media talking about the top 10 matches of 2017.
Go Team Venture!
Also, make sure you check out sltdwrestling.com, Wrestling with the Fundamentals, Single Leg Takedown, sltdwrestling.com. Not only can you find this podcast there, but cool fan articles and write-ups, and also they got a fantasy league that's going to be starting up pretty soon that, Joe, I know you're pretty excited about.
I'm going to dominate this year. You guys were talking so much shit, and we only did like 2 events.
Well, they have the predictions league, and then they have this fantasy league that's like completely separate, where you choose like one champion, and I forget all of the rules. I got to look it up again. But yeah, you choose a bunch of wrestlers, and you get points based on wins and pay-per-view wins and stuff like that.
Trade every month or something.
Right. Well, like if one of your non-champions becomes a champion, you're only allowed to have one champion, so you have to trade one of your champions away at that point. So it gets interesting.
good.
So check that out on sltdwrestling.com. Cool guys over there, and follow them on Twitter as well. All right, let's get into the news of the week. There's lots to talk about here, so let's get into it.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
Speaking of New Japan and Ring of Honor, I really regretted not talking about this on last week's show because the news was really, really new. But Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, all of those guys are going in on a show that they're calling All In. They're trying to sell out a 10,000-seat arena, and they haven't named where it's going to be yet, but they have named a date, September 1st. So I'm hoping, because I'm in Minneapolis, I'm hoping that it is in Chicago, because that's one of the rumored cities that it could be in. And we bid for vacation time at work last week, and I took September 1st and 2nd off just in case. I'm hoping for Chicago. That's one of the heavily rumored cities. That's the rumor I've heard the most for this all-in show. But yeah, certainly the West Coast is in play. The East Coast definitely in play with all the the ECW. Ring of Honor's huge out there in the New York, Philly market, etc. So that's definitely a possibility. There's even been rumors of somewhere in the UK, somewhere overseas for this to take place as well. But so far announced for this thing, obviously Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, Marty Scurll, Stephen Amell from the
Arrow.
Arrow, who now has his own Bullet Club T-shirt at Hot Topic, by the way.
Yep.
Kenny Omega, of course, which actually that's kind of a big get, even though he's obviously part of the elite, the Young Bucks and Cody and part of that whole group. And then the big surprise announcement earlier this week, or just the other day, Tessa Blanchard announced for that, kind of putting rumors to bed of her possibly going to WWE anytime soon with this thing coming out in September.
She's been killing it on the independent scene, from what I've seen.
Absolutely. A lot of people not really sure if Daniel Bryan is going to be on this thing. Probably not, because I think his contract is up in August or early September, and with the 90-day no compete clause, that could certainly come into play, although we don't know if this is going to be on any kind of TV yet. It might just be a house show. It might not be an iPay-per-view or a pay-per-view, or on, who knows what Ring of Honor's official affiliation is going to be, if this will be on the Ring of Honor streaming service that's to come sometime soon in 2018. So if Daniel Bryan is done with WWE and this is not on TV, it's a possibility, although slight, I would say, very slight. I think it's pretty unlikely. I think
you would want that pay-per-view buys, and especially if it's a 10,000-seater arena, though, you still need some revenue coming in off of that.
Right. And I think Ring of Honor is hoping for a big final battle next year and bring in a guy like Daniel Bryan. And certainly, I'm positively New Japan wants in on that money train as well. So, but we'll see how all of that plays out next year. But they're definitely very curious, very interested to see where this location is going to be for this event.
That's where it's all at, man.
My God, I'm very excited.
It's fucking like Montana.
That would definitely make the internet
Stampede territory.
Make the internet scream. I would not be excited about Montana, I don't think. Let's see here. Let's talk about Paige. We didn't get a chance to talk about Paige yet. It sounds like WWE is not going to allow her career to continue with this continued neck injury. Of course, this re-injuring herself at the house show a couple of weeks back now. Has been taken out of the Royal Rumble. Now, WWE hasn't said anything officially on their TV or on their website other than that she will be out of the Royal Rumble. But all of the news gathering agencies, the pro wrestling medias of the world, are saying that WWE is confirming that they will no longer clear her to wrestle anymore for WWE. But Paige did tweet out that 2018 is going to be her big, quote, bounce back year or something to that effect.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. 25 years old and being told you can't do it. It's stuck under contract technically, so you have no other choice.
Especially since you've been doing it since you're 12.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why she can, develop these injuries so young, too.
Right, yeah, starting so early, having that many miles already on the body. That's it's unfortunate. It really is. Let's get to some positive news now, depending on your point of view, I guess. But War Machine, Ricochet, and Candice LeRae have all signed with WWE. It's looking like War Machine and Ricochet are more than likely going to NXT. All of the tweets and media about that came out of the NXT account, other NXT wrestlers talking about War Machine and Ricochet, and the Candice LeRae news was on the main WWE Twitter, so maybe looking more like she might go right up to the main roster, although you never know.
They're all in the Performance Center at the moment.
Right. And that's the other thing, too, is you never know when any of these people are going to debut. Just because you're in the Performance Center doesn't necessarily mean you're going to NXT. Could be you could make your debut on the main roster. But I think WWE's looking to fill about, they got 17 people in the Women's Rumble now, which that's going to leave you 13 more to get to 30. So I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Ooh, we should go through all their iPhone promos.
Maybe we'll do that a little later. Stay tuned for that. We talked a little bit of Impact last week. We got some more Impact news here, so possibly some spoilers here if you're trying to avoid Impact spoilers. But here's the thing: is with all of the news of coming out of Impact, I actually went out of my way to tune into Impact last week, but it wasn't the new TV tapings yet, and so I got like 20 minutes into it, and I'm like, "Fuck this!" It was still like Josh Matthews doing like shitty WWE commentary, still the 6-sided ring and the green ropes, and I just couldn't get into it. But we do have some news coming out of the new Impact tapings. We got a lot of people leaving Impact. EC3 is out. Bobby Lashley is out. Laurel Van Ness is out. Chris Adonis, the former Chris Masters, is out. So, but it's a matter of Impact trying to save money. They're not going to be tied into these big time big time contracts anymore. These high paying exclusive contracts. But they are willing to bring in indie talent. I've saw that obviously they're working with Sami Callihan, who busted one of the Wolves in the face with a baseball bat. What's that?
He has that big match coming up tomorrow, Thursday.
What's that?
That Barbed Wire Massacre 3.
Oh, okay.
So, it's Pop TV said they would, and then they're not going to air it anymore because it's too violent. So, it's playing tomorrow, right after Pop, I think, on Twitch maybe.
On the Twitch stream,
I believe
sure.
So, yep.
So that's interesting, yeah. So that's the other news here is the Impact affiliation with Twitch. We had about a half hour to kill today before NXT came on, and so we decided to turn on the live Twitch stream that is featuring old TNA wrestling, and it was basically a Royal Rumble, a 20-man Rumble. I forget the gauntlet.
It seemed like 30 guys came,
but it was a gauntlet for the gold. I think was what they were calling it. And Jeff Jarrett was in there. It was like such classic TNA. It was like Jeff Jarrett was the fucking star, and he was the Iron Man in there for like a half hour or whatever. He didn't take out a ton of guys, but it was like fucking Slapnuts is in there just being the fucking star.
Lex Skipper comes out, Buff Bagwell comes out.
Bagwell, yeah. So we had a lot of fun watching some old TNA today on the Twitch stream.
Steiner,
but not this fake Scott Steiner guy. I don't even remember the guy's real name, but fuck it,
something Rios,
not Steiner. There was a guy that looked like a fake Rock, even though he wasn't doing the gimmick. We were like, please drop the elbow. Please just do it. And he wasn't doing it, of course. But yeah, a lot of fun obnoxiousness from the Twitch stream of TNA. So we'll get to
definitely made me want to go subscribe to their network.
So do you guys know we're not gonna that's one thing. Watching this Twitch stream for a half hour, it definitely made me not want to go back and subscribe to the Global Wrestling Network for old TNA.
I'm glad they're pulling this trigger with Twitch. Twitch is obviously picking up the slack where like YouTube is on the whole I don't know if that ever got cleaned up, the whole advertisement deal on YouTube with the wrestling community and the ads.
Yeah, I think some places are getting ads now. I don't know if it's as lucrative as it was before, but I don't know.
So it's good that Twitch is picking up the slack and airing this content, and Wrestle Circus is sticking around, and
House of Hardcore's
House of Hardcore's on there. So it's a good move for Impact to kind of go on there. It's free media for live events essentially, and like we said last week, you can go back and rewatch shit too if you had the subscription to them. So
yeah, I gotta
service.
I gotta figure out how to sign into that because I've got the Prime account, so I just don't know how to. I gotta
somewhere on your Amazon shit. I think they'll link you to there. Yeah.
I just downloaded it for my Fire Stick today. That Twitch thing, so I'll delve into that a little bit more.
And then TNA too. There's like another Comet app out there that has the same concept of them just streaming TNA shit all day.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
so it's just they're just getting the image out there and fucking have a channel play the shit all day. Why not?
All right, other news. We got Raw 25 coming up next week, the 25th anniversary of Raw. So we've got a lot of big names announced for that, including including but not limited to the Bellas coming back, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trish Stratus, bunch of other names, a bunch of other classic divas coming back.
Jericho.
I forgot to write that down.
Chris Jericho, a diva.
I can't. Well, that was a big surprise to me. Like, wow, Chris Jericho coming back this quickly after
why not
after Wrestle Kingdom. And again, I've talked about this before. I don't think Jericho is coming back to WWE in any kind of capacity. I think he's just going to make an appearance and be right back out doing other stuff with Fozzy and indie stuff.
Hope he comes back and starts cutting a promo, and then The Rock comes and cuts him off.
Somebody fucking tweeted at Dave Meltzer, what's the chances that Tetsuya Naito shows up at Monday Night Raw and attacks Chris Jericho? And his response was just, oh my. So, I thought that was pretty funny. Jey Uso got a D-dub in Texas, but he got Uso.
No, he got the Dewey, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I meant. DWI.
When I say do, you say E.
Do E. Yeah. So yeah, he got right out of the hospital he got out of jail right away on Sunday. This happened over last weekend in Texas. He was back on TV with Jay on Smackdown, which we'll get into that in a little bit. So hopefully it was just like a one-time thing, and it wasn't.
Shit happens.
It doesn't sound like the guy was smashed, hammered, or anything. Maybe it was just made a mistake. A lot of people make mistakes, so stop making mistakes, Jey Uso. Speaking of mistakes, Roman Reigns got his name dropped by a drug lord who got
gym owner, drug lord.
Well, I don't know much about the story. Taka, what did you?
It sounds like some gym owner in Miami is kind of selling steroids under the table to big names like Mark Wahlberg, and Roman Reigns was outed on it.
But this guy got arrested, and he's just feeding.
Yeah, he's facing a bunch of charges.
So he's giving up all of his clients, basically.
Fucking snitches get stitches, bitch.
I don't know why I got drug lord out of it. I must have read some fake news somewhere.
Well, he's in Miami. It makes sense.
There you go.
I
must have assumed.
He's a sketchy guy. That's all there is. But are we surprised?
No, I mean, Roman Reigns had the suspension a year and a half ago, so yeah, it's not surprising. So yeah, obviously. And then finally, they've announced that Goldberg is going to be the headliner for the Hall of Fame this year.
It's good.
I was never a big Goldberg guy, so I see the respect for him.
That's tremendous analysis.
That's cool. I kind of, if WrestleMania next year is going to be in Atlanta, I kind of wish they would have waited for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the big rumor for next year.
Right.
With Goldberg, the problem is I've gone back and I've rewatched what I loved as a kid. Because I was a huge Goldberg fan as a kid, but I was into the Goldberg, psych, him and his streak. But now that I go back and watch, he really wasn't that impressive.
Well, there's that. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a big name. It's a good headliner. We'll see what else they come up with the closer we get to WrestleMania.
God, I feel bad for bad segment on Goldberg.
Well, let's change this. Let's get into something a little more positive. Let's talk some Monday Night Raw this week.
Change the subject.
Monday Night Raw.
So it was the Braun Strowman show once
it
again
was.
on Monday Night Raw, but we got some other cool stuff on Raw that we'll get into as well. But there's so many fun things to talk about with this Braun Strowman thing. So he comes out at the very beginning of the show to start, he's very excited. He's got some heavy competition coming up at the Royal Rumble between, Kane and Brock Lesnar, and he's very excited to go for that World Championship. And here comes fucking Curt Angle to ruin the party.
Fucking fun sucker.
He's got to. Why did he have to fire poor Braun right on? Why couldn't he do it over an email? For the first time in months, Booker T on commentary made sense.
Start listening to fire Braun Strowman. Send him an email. Send him a fax. You don't fire Braun Strowman like that on live television. Are you kidding me?
Braun Strowman's on the loose right now. Someone needs to do something about
Somebody
this.
needs to call the police. That's what they need to. They need to call the police right now.
Although he was just threatening to call the police, and then the siren comes on. That was really good stuff. But yeah, it doesn't make any. Just thinking about it slightly logically, it makes
You just
no
can't.
sense.
Because in October they threw him in a dumpster and killed him.
Yeah, he was
How come
murdered.
they never got arrested or fired for that, for having a unsafe work environment?
Unsafe work environment. Why didn't Kane get fired? It's so unsafe. Just because he brings a damn grappling hook, you got to fire the guy.
Well, other people were involved. There's workers backstage.
Well, and he did cause what, $12 million in. Oh no, that was he was threatened to cause $12 million in damage to the TV truck. They were like, "No, my God, he's going for the TV truck. That's worth $12 million. It's worth 12." And he goes in there and he just kind of runs around and scares people.
It was like
the worst tease ever. He goes
Could you
into
pick a better number than $12 million though? Like,
well, it might be the shoot number. I don't know, but it was just, why bother having him go in there and not do anything but kind of scare people? he just went in there and just screamed at people, and yeah, it was like,
that's all he needs to do.
so yeah, he's in the ring. He's telling all of us the story of Braun Strowman.
I was telling them a story.
Gets interrupted by Curt Angle. He's very upset. He fires Braun. Braun is not. He's not willing to be fired.
He's angry.
He's
I'm not finished yet. I'm not leaving till everybody gets these hands.
So he's running around, going crazy. He runs into catering. Thank God somebody warned that he was coming.
Guys, Braun Strowman is coming. Braun Strowman is coming. He's headed this way.
The Strowmen are coming. The Strowmen are coming.
It was
like a stampede.
It was guys.
Guys, Braun Strowman is coming. Braun Strowman is coming. He's headed this way.
Oh, so and then when he beats the shit out of Clinton Dix or whoever was in there, and he takes the piece of cake from the statue of the statue person holding the cake.
That's the power of cake. Like, I'm convinced Strowman is like a T-Rex. Just don't move and he won't see you.
He just sees
he
cake.
Smelt cake, was Strowman hungry, and luckily it was chocolate cake. It's Strowman's favorite.
That looked like the most delicious cake I've ever
wanted
seen.
That fucking cake so bad.
Even the monster among men could not resist how delicious that cake
That's how powerful
looked.
that cake is.
That is some cake, buddy, right
fucking
there.
Damn.
I really want some cake right now.
Me too. We should fucking party with some cake.
So, not to be outdone, of course, it has to be Stephanie McMahon rehiring Braun via satellite or the telephone or however she did it.
I think she faxed it in.
She had to look like
probably.
the
Or
good
email.
guy there anyway, so that was silly too. So a lot of fun there. Other big thing from Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins brought back the curb stomp.
Yeah.
I was so excited for this because this is exactly one of the things that Seth Rollins needs right
It
now.
was set up so beautifully too, with
Yes.
fucking the interference with Jason Jordan out there and just fucking driving his face into the ground. He got a little fucking rug burn on his face.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it's exactly what Rollins
Yes.
needs right now. He ever since not having that finisher, using the pedigree, it just he needs that edge, and he needs something. He needs an edge on his promos too. And I think being a little bit more cocky, a little bit more edgy, and maybe even going a little bit heelish with Jason Jordan, I kind of like that idea. Not going full on, but just having a little bit of attitude in there.
Right.
I think is exactly what Seth Rollins would need.
Well, and I feel like his finisher, give it a name. don't call it the curb stomp. Let's just not call it that. Just give it whatever name you want to give it, attitude adjustment, whatever. Give it that name. It kind of just takes away from the power of the words curb stomp.
Right, and that's why they got rid of it in the first place. They didn't get rid of it because it was a dangerous move and people were getting injured. They just got rid of it because of the bad association with the word curb stomp. So yeah, call it something else. Call it the Blackbuster or whatever you want to call it.
Wow, that's worse.
Because he used to be Tyler. Because he used to be Tyler Black. Well, come on, come on.
I have no issue with it being called the curb stomp.
I'm not saying I have an issue.
It's brutal.
With
That's
it,
exactly what it is. It's
that is so profane, Dana.
I'm sorry.
And rude.
Just calling it something else is just like saying like, oh, friggin' A instead of fucking A. Like,
yeah,
it's
STF,
a curb
man.
stop. Fucking do it.
Yeah, but I mean, when they does it bother you that much that they changed the FU to the AA?
A
Little.
I still call it the FU and the STFU.
They should just call it the
Clash of the Titans!
and then be done with it. Let's see. The Bar did lose again to Titus Worldwide, this time with a roll-up after Jason Jordan music distracted the Bar. So
And then Ron
distraction
scolding
ever.
him.
what's that?
And then Ron was scolding him like, what the fuck you doing out here, man?
yeah, that was...
I had to. So I love that attitude from Jordan's really winning me over with this just fucking cocky, pompous attitude. Like, it's coming something really nice.
It's got that belt, man.
Nia Jax versus Asuka. This was a pretty fun little match here. Asuka getting the win via the referee stoppage after Asuka kicks her on the stairs outside. This is a good TV match. Nice submissions from Asuka. After the match, this is kind of where the story comes in. Bliss is checking on Nia after the match, and then but Enzo coming in kind of usurps Bliss. Like, get out of here. I got this. So that's kinda,
Limping in.
right. That kind of being the story there. The Revival finally returned back to TV. They had a match versus the Hick Hoppers. They get the win with Shatter Machine. The story here is the promo after the match. They talk about how they're not sports entertainers. It's not about beer trucks and crotch chops. I really liked their promo. I got a clip from it here.
Ooh, a clip.
A clip? Did you bring a clip? Yeah, I brought a clip.
There is absolutely nothing old school about beer bats and crotch chops. We're not sports entertainers. We are professional wrestlers.
Exactly. And look, hey, we're not a creation of the WWE boardroom. We're as real as it gets.
It's funny, though, because, like, cutting a promo like that and your quote's supposed to be a heel, it kind of puts you over as a babyface in my book. But they're at the stage where they just want to get these guys over at all. And so...
Well, and they came in friggin' hot and fast when they first started. Like, they were doing what they needed to do. And a couple injuries, right? I mean, did they both get hurt at some point? But a couple injuries completely derailed that. So it's almost like you have to build them completely back up from scratch. And I don't think they want to do that.
They have to, man. They got to work for you. Otherwise, you're going to be another Emma. Someone pointed out, too, on Twitter, like, I hope this is just a setup for them at the Raw 25 to get their asses whipped by a bunch of legends. Like, that's kind of, right? It's like, it does sound like what's
that sounds exactly like what's going to happen.
Exactly what happened with the Ascension.
Yeah.
God, that put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Sorry, here's my dick.
Hold on. Where did it go here?
That is so profane, Dana. And rude.
I'm surprised you just don't have like a hot button on that for me. Like,
and I'm surprised you haven't changed the Dana to like Taco or Joe.
Well, tune in next week. We'll have personalized
light bulbs are going off in here.
Yeah. What else from Raw? The Miz.
Fucking Michael Cole getting thrown off the stage.
And
Tom can still take a bump.
Tom Phillips coming in for Michael Cole. That was that felt like a lateral move there. No improvement, no loss. It literally, if you hadn't seen Michael Cole get thrown off the stage, you would have assumed it was the same guy.
Hey, it was kind of nice not hearing the big dog.
Roman Reigns beat The Miz Taraj with a spear over Axel after a tussle with The Miz. The Miz and his forehead vein say they'll win the Intercontinental title back next week, so it will be the Miz versus Reigns for the IC title at Raw 25. That should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That should be fun. But again, it's like Miz cuts these awesome promos. I loved the one with him and Asuka for the mixed match challenge, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Is there Asuka?
Yeah. Like, he cuts these awesome promos, but then he gets in the ring and it's like, oh, yeah, it's the Miz. So
it works for that character, though. Like, I see someone like Alexa Bliss gets a lot of heat for how she wrestles on the ring because she's not doing her flips and her those crazy moves anymore. But she's, that heel, she's small. She's small, so she has to do those kind of moves to kind of be a little bit weaselly but believable. And Miz is the same way. Like, he's not. If his name was on that fucking steroid list, I'd be like, The Miz? Really? Like, no. Like, maybe Miz? But he's always looked at, I don't want to say average, but he's always looked real. Like, just like almost a normal person, but, he's the A-list celebrity kind of mentality. So,
sure.
And he's cut the promo on it too. He's like, I've never had an injury keep me out of action. I've always been healthy. I keep my ring style safe. And it's like, yeah, and you've been on our fucking TV every week for the last, 8 years?
All right, let's move on to Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville. I was impressed with this match. We had some good strikes, some good. Sonya Deville looked good. She won the match.
And no MMA gloves.
She lost the MMA gloves. Her hair was down, but then she put it up so
that was weird.
So you could put her, because she does the put your hair up and square up thing, which is a cheesy line. But if that's kind of your line, why are you wrestling with your hair down?
It was just really weird that she won the match and then rolls out and instantly puts her hair up. I was like, what?
That would be the spot where you take it down, right? But anyway.
You're badass with it down.
It's a little backwards, but anyway. Matt Hardy took on Heath Slater, won with the Twist of Fate. I thought this was a fun match. Hardy comes across unorthodox but credible. It looks like he's kicking his ass in the ring obnoxiously.
Finally, an updated graphic.
Yes, the Tron.
Vanguard 1 did great.
How about that on Twitter, though? Or I think it was Twitter where Matt Hardy had a video saying the big Vanguard 1 flies across the property, and he does the I knew you'd come line or whatever. So maybe some Vanguard 1 stuff to come, hopefully, to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I believe it was a tweet. You said, be patient. We are preparing the Hardy compound. So
yeah.
Plotting.
Skarsgård will be ready with the Lake of Purification.
Then we touched on the curb stomp stuff, but of course Seth Rollins winning after some Jason Jordan shenanigans at ringside, and getting the win over Finn Balor with the first ever rematch between these two since the Universal Championship match way back in the
Finn sold that fucking curb stomp.
So awesome. So I'm really excited to see where all of that goes. So, all right, let's change it up and get into some Smackdown Live, and we'll tack on the mixed match.
Are we gonna bring up the truck?
The truck.
Oh yeah. See, so much happened on Raw.
We got to talk about the truck.
We have to talk.
I mean, he tipped over a truck.
A semi-truck.
Let me tell you, he got a running start for this one.
It ties into the $12 million TV truck that he just kind of ran around in, and then decided, well, this is way too expensive. I'll go unhook the semi-tractor, and then we'll ruin that instead. That's not quite as $12 million.
I'm thinking like a small aircraft is next. Maybe move up to a 747. Let's see how far we can take this.
Ambulances, semi-trucks, my God. Thank God they had multiple cameras in there to catch the thing from multiple angles, because that was pretty spectacular.
All right, you may move on.
It was just the Braun Strowman thing. It was so goofy, but so entertaining. Just
it's like, everyone dogs on WWE a lot, and it's just like, this is proof of how to do goofy shit and present it right. But when you have a lot of people doing outlandish shit, it doesn't come across real and natural.
Well, this didn't come across real at all, because obviously when you're
in that universe,
if you're going to fire the guy, you don't let him go out and start telling stories in the ring for a few minutes and then come out and fire him, because that's
also in the same universe where
I was telling them a story.
Fucking Wyatts are appearing out of nowhere, Kane shooting lightning bolts, and Undertaker's rising from the dead. It's that world.
Yeah, that's WWE.
Yep.
So, all right, let's move it along. Let's get into SmackDown officially, and we'll talk mixed match challenge on here as well.
SmackDown Live.
I can be a superhero.
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Sigma.
So a little bit of vitriol online from this week's SmackDown.
Yeah,
some people
a lot of hate.
Not liking it. I don't know why. I mean, obviously
Very butthurt.
they changed the plans of what's going on with the U.S. title.
Well, no Sammy KO, there's no AJ shitty promo, this shitty. I didn't think it was that bad.
No, it was all about the U.S. title, which, go ahead, build that thing up, make it important. I don't mind them taking the finals away from the Royal Rumble because, quite frankly, you've got way too much shit going on the Royal Rumble. Anyway, you got 2 hour-long plus Royal Rumble matches. You got a 2 out of 3 falls tag team title match. You got another tag team title match for the Raw side of things. So you got a ton of stuff going on already for the Royal Rumble. So you taking a match away and moving it up to SmackDown. Now, I would have actually preferred if they waited for the championship match till next week, like they teased on early in the show, and do something else for the main event, because I just didn't need to see Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal wrestle twice on the same show.
But I'm also not mad at it too. Like,
I'm not mad at it.
These guys got to get these, those moments under their belt, and we're gonna have, episodes like this. Like, it was nothing to go home and podcast about, but it was nothing bad. Like, it was just an episode that was there. It was a progression. It's kind of, I thought they wrapped up the United States tournament in a good way. Just kind of, okay, now let's continue on and make it about the championship now.
And a feel-good win, I thought, with Bobby Roode getting the win, getting the championship.
I think just a lot of people are butthurt because, I wanted Xavier Woods to win this shit.
Yeah.
And,
right. But I liked the match that he had with Xavier Woods. I mean, yes, it was extra oily Jinder he was dominating the match. He beat the shit out of Xavier Woods, but the late part of the match where Woods made a comeback, showed some really good fire, hit some nice moves, but came up short in the end.
I feel that's Xavier Woods in a nutshell when it comes to his singles career. It's like he gets the shit kicked out of him, then he puts on a show for the people, almost a clinic, because I've seen a few matches where he's done that, where he all of a sudden just explodes and he shows off a different move almost every time when he gets that opportunity, but he always falls short. They don't give him that big win unless it's a tag title.
And I liked how this wasn't your typical WWE match with the heel winning via shenanigans. It was really, fucking Jinder kicks him in the face, first move of the match, which looked phenomenal. Late in the match, the Singh brothers jump up on the apron, but the New Day guys chase them out of there.
They threw pancakes at them.
but they literally Biggie jumped in the ring, ran across the ring, and chased the Singh brothers out of the arena, basically. And then it was after that where I loved the finish for this match, actually, because Jinder goes to throw Woods out, and Woods takes the Enzo bump off the bottom rope or whatever, where Enzo injured himself in that tag match so many months ago or whatever. So he does that, and then Jinder hits the Colossus. So I loved that finish with him taking that fucking Enzo bump.
And it's good heel heat too on Jinder, not you people. It's those slimy moves like boot to the face right away. Fuck you. Like, I'm the monster now. Like, I like that Xavier Woods, like, his shit on fucking social media was great leading up to this match though. But what was I going to say? He brought up the fact that he had that pinfall on Superstars over Jinder Mahal back in the day before, so it was like, he was like, hey, remember this is going to happen again. And it's like, no, this isn't the same Jinder Mahal, man. And it's a good spot for him.
You brought up the selfie promos that they've been doing for this mixed match challenge. Now, I think what happened is they saw when people were doing them on their own and they were really good, and they said, yeah, let's do some selfie promos. So here's your script for your selfie promos. Everybody do a selfie promo now.
If Mojo could do it, you could do it.
Oh my God, it was as soon as they started scripting the selfie promos, it was like, oh well, that fun's over now.
Well, especially with like the female one at the beginning half was like, okay, we're gonna get a little bit of this throughout the night. No, it just kept fucking going. And it was just like painfully awkward seeing them all. You could tell they're like, I don't want to do this. I want to go to bed right now.
Well, I thought it was going to be like a mixed match challenge thing, but they started off with it just being for the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble promo.
Well, that's what I thought it was going to be kind of like the female. Like, that's kind of cool that they were doing it. I wouldn't mind like 2, 3 here throughout the night. Like, I liked Liv's little thing she had, and I could actually understand Sarah Logan in this fucking promo. Like, there was some positive out of it. It's just you crammed 10 of them in our face in one go.
Yeah,
that was painful.
It was weird.
And then I was like, okay, no more of this shit. Oh wait, there's Nakamura doing this now. Oh, what the fuck's Randy doing in the yep, I like your haircut, Randy.
And then Randy with like the dramatic panning of the ring behind him, like I've never used a selfie stick before. This is kind of cool.
It's like us when we were like doing like a live tweet, like how do I shut this off?
Right? Yeah, when I'm doing a Periscope, I'm like, how do I? Okay, yeah.
There's the end button.
Oh, that's good stuff. Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley in the semifinals or whatever. I liked this match. Mm-hmm. Mojo Rawley is a really good heel. A lot better than he was a babyface. Still has kind of the awkward run-in entrance thing.
Yeah, he needs to stop that.
But him doing the 3-point stances, him just being a dick in the ring. Like, oh, you glorious, Bobby? How's you glorious now? Just him talking shit. I like him in this role. I don't know about the yellow gear, but it's kind of a salute to Maryland, I think, where he went to college. But
it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna transition. Like we're making the small moves with Mojo Rawley. He's building up his credit with his again selfie promos and like you said in the ring, he's showing off the football style. He's doing the slams and he's mixing it up a little bit. A lot of the Mojo Rawley I remember was really repetitive and a whole lot of pounces. Yeah. So like to see him in with Bobby Roode again, not really a whole really technical guy. He's got his skill set. Seeing them put on this match where it's just a clinic of these two, it was fun to watch, and again, a good lead up into the finals.
That is tremendous analysis.
Oh, I thank you.
After the match, the Singh brothers come and attack Bobby Roode, and one of them diving out of the ring looks like he busted up his ankle or something. Oof. So I didn't see any reports on if there's any kind of real injury on that, but he was definitely limping around after the match. But later on in the main event, doing the run-ins and stuff, I didn't. Or wait a minute, were they even? No, they weren't out there for the main event.
They were banned from ringside.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. So
and then Shane and fucking Daniel Bryan were
at ringside. Yeah. But yeah, that was the main event. Good match. I like Bobby Roode getting the win here. I fully expect Dolph Ziggler to return next week and it would cause a bunch of ruckus, because wasn't it the feud with between Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler going into this thing? Wasn't it?
No, it was Corbin and Roode, and then Ziggler weaseled his way into the match and won it.
And then Ziggler won it, and then he dropped the title, went away, have the tournament, and Bobby Roode wins the thing. So now Ziggler can come back and be like, no, fuck that. I won the title from you guys in the 3-way match, and it's my time. And then Baron Corbin can get involved again, and we can see it all over.
I'm so excited.
I saw some people it would be a good way to kind of have Ziggler come back with a new United States Championship. Like, no, this is the real title. Because there's been talks about a redesign and everything.
Oh, so. Yeah, it'd be nice if they got one that had the giant logo that's like the entire belt, like the other ones.
Right. But in red, white, and blue.
Oh, that'd be like, yeah. Have a red, white.
You just got him going.
It's on Smackdown, so the belt, the strap can be blue because it's Smackdown, right?
And then the diamonds are gonna be the white.
Right. Well, no, the diamonds in the W can be red, white, and blue diamonds.
Oh shit, yeah.
Or no, the backplate behind the big WWE logo can be. We're being way too fucking snarky. Let's just move on. The Rusev Day is gonna take on the Ascension next week.
Happy Rusev Day.
Because of what happened on Fashion Files. Benjamin and Gable attacked the Usos while they were doing their interview. I like that whole segment. They're going to be challenging.
See, this was another thing a lot of people were fucking giving Gable heat on his fucking promo. I thought it was a good little promo. He got right to the point. There's this little like smarky attitude, and they dipped.
Here's the thing, is I think a lot of people are confused on the heel babyface dynamic here. I think a lot of people still think the Usos are heels when they have in fact been babyfaces for several months now. Like a lot of people still look at the Usos as heels. They want to like Gable and Benjamin because they're likable, but they've been healing it up on promos. They've been heel for like a month or two now.
I think the Usos just accidentally became baby faces, like when you're running around with the grill in your mouth saying Uso Penitentiary, and like you come off thuggish, like I don't.
Well, they got over with those promos, right?
Yeah, the promos,
and then they had
New Day feud, like
right, the New Day.
They just kind of accidentally got over because of that.
They got over because of that. And I call the official babyface turn when they had the moment of respect in the ring after the Usos finally defeated the New Day in their final match or whatever, and then they shook hands and showed a mutual respect. That for me was the Usos turn. Well, I can't really nail down or pinpoint an official turn for Gable and Benjamin, but that's definitely the role that they've been playing at least for a month and a half.
Oh yeah, now. For sure.
So I think that's why people are kind of upset. Like, why is Gable such a dork or giving such awful lines? Well, he's a heel. He should be coming across that way. And them attacking the babyface Usos in the back on SmackDown, I thought made sense. And I'm excited. I'm very excited for the match.
Fuck yeah!
These two teams put on really good matches.
Shelton just plays a good heel. Like, even just thinking back with the whole. Do you remember Shelton's mama? Oh. Even that, I mean, just he could always have that smile on his face, like I'm gonna beat your ass.
No, you fool!
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's okay. I really like Shelton as a heel over a babyface. As a babyface, they're just two guys with wrestling backgrounds.
We had the 6-woman tag. Not much to talk about here, although Liv Morgan got the win over Naomi with the
it's a good one for her.
The side code breaker after an illegal kick from Ruby Riott in the match.
Ruby Wyatt.
But not much to speak of there. That's pretty much SmackDown. Let's move on. Let's talk a little Ring of Honor. We haven't talked Ring of Honor on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast in a while. So let's get into it, shall we?
Change the subject.
Listen up, wrestling fans.
Listen up, wrestling fans.
So, yeah.
You feeling sluggish.
My liver.
There it goes. Anyway. So, yeah, we haven't talked about Ring of Honor in a while. Final Battle was last month. Dalton Castle, the new Ring of Honor champion, defeated Cody for the championship. We got a new... Okay, Singh Brothers. We got the new title belt in Ring of Honor. We got all new title belts in Ring of Honor.
I haven't seen the TV title yet.
No, me neither.
They've only had it on. They've only had the picture on Twitter or whatever or online. It hasn't been on TV yet. So the new world title is the only one that's been on TV yet. So
can't wait till Silas Young gets that new belt.
Yes, I definitely want to see it. I do not like the old Ring of Honor TV title. Although that shitty little TV title would be pretty good. That's pretty good for Silas Young. I almost think he should want to keep the old Ring of Honor title just for heat and like refuse. No, that's not my title. This is a man's title.
Yeah,
I could see him cutting that promo. That might be fun.
That would be fun.
So yeah, Silas Young, the new TV champion. So lots of stuff going on. Jay Lethal has challenged Dalton Castle for the World Championship, so that'll be coming up probably at the next pay-per-view. Let me see if I can see it on my board there.
16th anniversary. Oh, no.
Yeah, 16th anniversary.
In March? Goddamn!
In March is the next...
You got some time, motherfucker.
Yeah, so they could do something...
Big amount of time.
They could do something on TV before then. They certainly could, if they launch this streaming service, they could do something on a house show.
It's really not that bad, actually.
So, I mean, yeah,
February was a short month, and it's already January. So now the thing about it's like, it's not that bad.
It's March 9th, so it's early in March. So we're talking like a month and a half away, pretty much, from more or less. So lots of stuff going on there. Ring of Honor TV this week. Really good opening match between Will Ospreay and Jay Lethal. This is a match to get Jay Lethal over with him making the big challenge for Dalton Castle's championship. This was taped before Will Ospreay became the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. So
he's fighting Pete Dunne tonight too. Dunne, god damn it.
You just really like that movie.
That's not for Rev Pro. That's for some other promotion in the UK. Correct?
Thanks in the UK though. I believe they're fighting tonight though.
Okay, so fighting Wednesday night or Thursday night somewhere.
Wherever UK time. So tomorrow morning.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck it, I don't know. Whatever.
How come you don't got Lethal Leap Year on there
this weekend? I just didn't have room for Lethal Leap Year on our whiteboard. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I've just popped in my head that those two are going to be going at it really soon, so it's going to be pretty cool to see a IWGP and a WWE belt in the same ring together.
Yes. But back to Ring of Honor TV this week. I really liked this match between these two. Will Ospreay, who's got this reputation of being this crazy high flyer, he's really developed his strikes. All of his striking looks good. That's on display in this match. He's got this wicked, spinning back fist to the back of the head that he does now. He did it. I think he debuted it. Well, the first time I saw it was at Final Battle. He did it to Matt Taven and just fucking clobbered him. He did it in this match to Jay Lethal, and it didn't look as bad, but it's still because that first one was so devastating looking. Yeah. It's like, oh, so I like that he clobbered Matt Taven to have that vision. I can picture the slow motion replay in my head, and so now every time he does that move, I'm like, oh, there's
it's
that.
Like when you see a half-assed Stone Cold Stunner, you think about The Rock flying across the ring still.
So I like the new offense from Will Ospreay. It's not all high flying and obnoxiousness.
Sure.
And then early in the match, Jay Lethal, Will Ospreay goes to do his signature thing where he just does he looks like he's going to dive on you on the outside, but and then just does a backflip and lands in the middle of the ring. Well, Jay Lethal saw him doing that and just grabbed him, drug him outside, and did 3 topes on him outside of the ring.
That was fun.
The story of this match was Marty Scurll coming out, and he was on commentary for the match because it was Scurll versus Jay Lethal at the last pay-per-view.
No, it's because he's a big Lethal fan.
Well, right.
He's a huge Lethal
because
fan.
he Marty Scurll's convinced that he won the match even though he lost because Lethal resorted to villain-like tactics to win the match at Final Battle. So he's out there putting Lethal over on commentary, saying all this. So we're waiting for the moment. Well, will Lethal go heel in the match? Will he do something dastardly and villainous? He did not. He won the match clean with. I loved the finish for this match too because they're going back and forth, trading each other's finishing attempts. Lethal counters the Os cutter into his own cutter and then hits the Lethal injection. But at one point, Lethal goes for, Ospreay goes for a lethal injection, and Lethal counters that. And so I just like the back and forth of the finishers going into the finish, and then Lethal finally, and just a brutal looking lethal injection on Ospreay. He took that like a champ.
Oh, he went head first in that mat.
So that was a lot of fun there.
Well, I think the experience you're seeing is literally he just travels the world and wrestles.
Yeah.
And he just soaks it all up. He's learning strikes in Japan. He's learning grappling over in the UK. He's learning lucha libre style down in Mexico. I mean, just look at his belt. He shows off the countries he's wrestled in.
But I think he's someone, too, that does look at the criticism online and takes it to heart. Not in like a negative way, but I kind of got on that train a little bit too. Like, yeah, man, Ospreay kind of screams and sells a little bit too much, and he's toned it down a little bit. So I think
his selling is great.
I think he's smart. He's smart enough to kind of see what's being said online and communicate it to each other and be like, troll. Okay, maybe there is something there. So.
And he's still so young, and so by the time
that's the important thing though is all these young guys, the internet will fuck with your head, man, easily with all these trolls out there. But you just gotta stay a level head and weed the bullshit out. And like I said, he's a smart guy, so he's got a bright future.
Yeah, he's learning from the constructive criticism, and he's changing his style to depending on what the situation
and all
is.
These different people he's meeting across the world to their different styles and shit. Yeah, he's living the dream.
Jonathan Gresham was on Coleman's pool pit this week.
Yeah.
Coleman calls him short, makes fun of him, says he loses all of his matches. Gresham says he's been studying pro wrestling for 12 years and wants to implement his own new rules that would maybe not benefit's not the right word, but would play into his style and the type of wrestler that he is. So it makes me wonder if he's hinting at bringing back the Pure Championship into Ring Ring of Honor. Are you guys familiar with the Pure title or the Pure Championship?
I've heard the name of it.
So I haven't seen a ton on it myself, but I have seen it from time to time. Basically, the rules are you get 3 rope breaks in the match to break up a hold, a submission, or whatever. No closed fists to the face are allowed. You can use a closed fist to the body, but not to the face. If you do use a closed fist to the face, one of your rope breaks gets taken away. Also, the title can change hands on a DQ or a countout in a Pure Championship match.
So basically, a wrestler's championship.
So basically, a wrestling match with enforced rules.
Wow!
But I like the rope break thing. I like the closed fist rule. So
I like the idea of it, but
it didn't get over the first time.
There's a reason why it's not there. It's just. Us wrestling fans are simple-minded. Don't give us too fucking much.
But here's the thing. I think when they tried it the first time, it was a little ahead of its time. I think now, with today's wrestling fan, and I could be wrong here too, but I think the Ring of Honor fan, I mean, it's not just your, a lot of it is your guy in your Bullet Club t-shirt, just wanting to see Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks.
Especially that fucking crowd. That was a sea of Bullet Club shirts. That was ridiculous.
But I do like the idea of something completely different on a show, which is what Jonathan Gresham's style is. So I would like to see it come back, maybe with a little bit of a different, maybe not those exact rules, but maybe a variation that isn't quite as thought. Doesn't quite
too difficult.
Doesn't require as much thought from the fans.
I think he just should figure out a way to incorporate those rules into his gimmick and be the belt in a sense.
All right, well we'll see what happens with that. Kenny King took on Brian Milonas. Kenny King won with the springboard blockbuster, but the story here is after he calls out the Silas Young, who just won the TV title from him in the 4-way match at Final Battle. So he calls out Silas Young. Big brawl breaks out, and Brian Milonas attacks Kenny King after the whole brawl is going on. He shakes hands with the Beer City Bruiser. So the Beer City Bruiser tag team partner that was teased from last week has apparently been revealed to be big old Brian Milonas.
So that's a pretty big team.
Those are 2 big boys, and should be a fun team to watch in the future. So, and I like Kenny King and Silas Young. Their little rematch going forward here should be good. After seeing the big 4-way at Final Battle, it'll be nice to see these 2 in a one-on-one match. And Kenny King's been growing on me a little bit. I've been largely kind of negative on him.
Big old negative Nancy.
But I liked him in this match with Milonas. He's got some good moves. So he's
still developing.
He's coming around. Well, he's been in the game for forever. He shouldn't be developing anymore. But
that was a bad choice of words.
No, I know what you're saying.
His character is developing. Is really what it is.
He's coming along for me anyway. Scorpio Sky and the Addiction have become SoCal Uncensored. They're out there cutting a promo in the ring, talking some more shit. But COO Joe Koff grabs a mic, comes out on stage and says, I could fire you guys, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let your contracts expire at the end of the year. So you'll be done after Final Battle 2018. And the Addiction Cell being angry and upset and all of that. So this is an interesting story here because shoot or not, who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I like this story. So do they slowly but surely try to become baby faces throughout the year and become popular and get re-signed after Final Battle?
Nope, keep destroying.
So, because obviously the gimmick of them destroying everything that people like has gotten Joe Koff so upset that he's not, I'm not going to fire you, I'm just not going to re-sign you. So
I love it. I love seeing other people disappointed because it's just funny to me.
The Briscoes are going to challenge the Motor City Machine Guns to a tag title match at some point. They cut a promo in a parking garage, so
that's a good spot for it.
That'll be a good match.
Which group?
Coming up at some point. What'd you say?
Which group?
Which
Motor City Machine Guns or Briscoes? Who cut the promo?
Oh, the Briscoes.
Oh, okay. I'm like, they both cut a promo in a parking garage. So.
I almost wrote that the Briscoes challenged the Motor City Machine Guns in a parking garage, but that would be very confusing because then it would sound like they're doing.
Did you park in my spot?
Are you having a parking garage match? I don't understand. So no, they just cut the promo in the parking garage. There's no match in a parking garage. The Motor City Machine Guns were not in the parking garage. They were just made the challenge there. Who knows? Maybe the parking garage will come into play. Maybe the rebuttal from the Motor City Machine Guns next week will be also in a parking garage. Stay tuned to more Ring of Honor for all of your parking garage news.
I hope it's in a parking ramp.
The main event for this week's Ring of Honor was the Kingdom taking on Dalton Castle and the Boys in a 6-man tag team match. The announcers talked about this as the Kingdom getting what they wanted, even though the Kingdom have been talking about nothing about. It's been about conspiracies.
It has been a conspiracy.
And them not getting title shots. There's no title on the line here. It's just a 6-man match. Yes, Dalton Castle's the champion, but there's nothing on the line here. They're not getting what they wanted. There's still a conspiracy against the Kingdom. It's a conspiracy, damn it.
Fucking Melvins.
So Dalton goes for the Tombstone pile driver on Taven. They do like 10 reversals back and forth of this Tombstone pile driver, but finally Dalton hits it. Hits the Bangarang on TKO Ryan. He hits the dueling new bar on Vinny Marseglia and taps him out while a legitimate axe is in the ring.
Yeah. He wasn't tapping out. He was reaching for the axe.
That might be legitimate as well, that he was reaching for his axe.
It's a conspiracy, he could murder
man. Dalton Castle.
Yeah.
So a fun main event for a 6-man match here, and but Dalton getting the overwhelming victory, hitting the 3 finishers and debuting the new one, the dueling new bar, I think is what it's called, on the Melvin of Vinny Marseglia there. So fun match, nice showcase for Dalton there. Next week we're going to get a 3-way tag: the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends versus Dragon Lee and Titan from CMLL.
Nice.
Speaking of Fantastica Mania, look for those guys down there in New Japan this weekend for Fantastica Mania. But yeah, should be a good match next
Fantastica.
week. It's going to be lots of fun, so much fun.
Magnifica.
All right, let's get into this week's NXT.
Change the subject.
NXT.
A fun show this week, but not a ton to really get into, but just kind of setting up some things in the future to that's going to be coming up at NXT TakeOver in Philly. Fun match to start off, though. We got Heavy Machinery versus Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, the sports entertainers. This was set up a few weeks back when the Heavy Machinery were arriving somewhere and the sports entertainers' car was in the way. So Otis goes to move the car out of the way, and they come out and say, "What are you doing moving the car out of the way? Let's just have a match. We should just get it on. We should just have a match."
Is that what it is, pal?
Yeah, that is what it is, guy.
Guy? Well, now I know. Friend?
Well, I'm glad that both of you know, chiefs.
So this was set up a couple of weeks back, and here we go. Otis has some New Year's resolutions that Percy Watson found out.
All about steaks and weights over here, boys. I was talking to Otis, and his New Year's resolution is to eat less carbs and eat more meat and marry Mandy Rose.
So I guess Otis was talking a little love talk with Mandy Rose on Twitter.
Yeah,
huh?
saying it was his Woman Cross Wednesday, and his future was it bride to be or future fiance is what he said.
The sports entertainers gets the win here. Moss pins Tucker Knight with his feet on the ropes after a roll up there. The referee missing the feet on the ropes. Mauro Ranallo called for replays in sports entertainment, which I am all for. By the way, there's replays in all other sports. Why not in pro wrestling? So. The Undisputed Era cut a promo. Adam Cole and Aleister Black is going to be Extreme Rules at TakeOver Philly, and doesn't matter who wins the number one contenders between Authors of Pain and Street Profits. The O'Reilly and Fish Red Dragon are going to take care of them, so they say. Fabian Aichner took on Roderick Strong. This was a nice match. This was something we needed from Roderick Strong here. He won with the Stronghold, a.k.a. the Lion Tamer. This was a good match. This was kind of a refreshing TV match from WWE. After watching two Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal matches on SmackDown that were fraught with chin locks and long holds and long elongated heat from the heels in the matches, this was nice to just have a nice back-and-forth, hard-hitting, move-oriented match, and Roderick Strong getting the win and challenging Lars Sullivan, of all people, to a match.
Lars.
Because what did he say? He felt the power of Lars and he liked it or something like that.
He basically just did hit Lars' promo.
Yeah. Was saying how he's come in here and he's run through all the opponents that he's come across in NXT, which is not 100% true.
That was a little bit of fake news there.
And then he's like, I felt your power, blah, blah, blah. Let's fight Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, I think he just wants to kind of avenge that that Lars Sullivan kind of getting one over on him there.
So it'll be fun, a good little match.
Well, and again, they're still showcasing Fabian Aichner. They've been really just popping him out there every once in a while. You know, he's the new Andrade, just facing everybody. He may be losing, but he's showing off a different skill set each match.
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of getting over with just a little bit here and a little bit there, a little bit of Ty Dillinger almost.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's just hope he has a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd maybe put him more on the Oney Lorcan side of the losers bracket, which I'd like to see some more of him. He put a tweet out the other day saying, "Give me tag team names." That was
1 and 2.
Exactly, 1 and 2. Ali Ya took on Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans won with a knockout punch, which was neat. After the match, Evans calls out like Ember Moon and Nikki Cross, Kairi Sane, calling them all societal trash. So going for some heel heat here, I guess, with Lacey Evans. Shayna Baszler comes out and kind of intimidates her, though, and ends up going in the ring and choking out Ali Ya. Then Ember Moon comes out, chases Baszler out of there again. I like Baszler doing the retreat thing, doing the shit-eating grin, same thing we talked about last week. Ember Moon challenges her to a match, says, "Come on, let's get in this ring, let's do this right now." Baszler says, no, we're going to do this when I want. And
I don't have my ring gear.
Right, I don't have my ring gear. Oh, you don't have your ring gear? Well, you let me know when you bring your ring gear, and da-da-da-da-da. And so the Babe basically set up the match for TakeOver Philadelphia with Ember Moon wanting the match with Shayna Baszler. So a little bit of a different twist with the champion challenging a challenger, but I like
especially with Shayna Baszler's background too. Like, she does look like an MMA fighter. You know, that's kind of been my beef with Sonya Deville. It's just like she I know she has the background and everything, but Shayna Baszler just screams MMA fighter, just fighter, and those promos, you know, of her in the back just choking people just because she can. God, that's heat.
Well, I feel like they're going to go Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn with this match, and Shayna Baszler's just going to destroy Ember at Philadelphia.
Boy, it would feel very soon to have the championship off of Ember Moon, but I could see her destroying her for most of the match, a la Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods. But then instead of her Baszler getting the win, I could see Ember Moon getting a fluke win in the end somehow, or sneaking in an eclipse and getting the win or something like that, making a last-minute comeback.
Good way to get that championship off her and get her in that Women's Royal Rumble, but
that's true too. And with
who else? I suppose he's still got some big hard hitters in there right now.
Yeah, and with so many spots to fill, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility just to have the women's NXT champion in the Royal Rumble just to fill up a spot too. So she doesn't necessarily have to lose the title to be in that spot. So that should be good. Let's see. Zelina says she doubts that Gargano is a credible challenger for Andrade Cien Almas. Of course, you had Velveteen Dream coming out and doubting him last week. Then we had Gargano coming to the ring, cutting a very passionate promo about, this is, I'm going to be able to do this. The fans are behind me, blah, 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 blah. I just really enjoyed his passion. The promo the crowd got behind him felt good. He's going to take on Velveteen Dream next week, put his number one contendership on the line. That should be really good. So looking forward to all of that. Any thoughts on the Gargano stuff?
I wasn't as into the promo as you were, apparently, because it just seems like it's standard Johnny Gargano. He was just a little bit more riled up, and like he just it felt like he kind of stuttered like a little bit. And maybe it was the surrounding. It's not technically Full Sail. I know they're doing the tapings and everything, but like it just didn't get me going.
Yeah, and the crowd could have been hotter.
Exactly.
I know because this was a TV taping. Who knows what hour into the TV tapings this was? So yeah, but I thought he brought the passion. I thought we needed this from Johnny because people have been cutting him down, saying, "Oh, you're a loser. You don't deserve to be in the spot." The Velveteen Dream stuff, Zelina, all of that, and even Regal kind of agreeing with Zelina in the back. Not overtly, but not disagreeing with her. And so Gargano just being pissed off, and I like how they did it too. Like Morrow and the guys were
bullshit.
They were bullshitting, looking like they were getting ready to cut to a video or whatever. And Gargano just comes out, no music. Give me a mic. I got some shit I need to say. Instead of the typical here's his music. He comes out and it's so orchestrated. He just comes out when it looks like they're getting ready to do something else. And they alluded to it even after the Gargano promo. Morrow's like, well, here's the video we were about to show you before Johnny Gargano came out. And so I like that they tied up all of those loose ends, and they made it feel like Gargano he's mad as hell, and he's not going to take this anymore. And he goes out there and talks. I kind of wish
we had went back and looked up that first promo of him when he was in that ring, and God, was it the sports entertainers that went up to him and were like, "You're a fucking loser, man. You don't have your tag team partner now." And he was like, I believe in myself. I'm a singles competitor. Blah blah blah, and he's still getting his ass whooped. So I like that he did come out and show that passion. Like, I fucking believe in myself, motherfuckers. I know I got this. I worked too hard. So yeah, fuck you, Joe. Is my summary of the story.
Fucking hate both of you.
Well, here's something we could probably all agree on: the TM61 video package.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
That was fun.
We're gonna get part 2 next week. So we got some backstory. Who are these guys? Where they come from? Where they've been? Pro Wrestling Noah coming up in Australia. The fact that they're trying to cut promos without swearing in the back. I enjoyed all of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more on their story. I thought that was cool.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoyed them, and I feel like that we were going to get to this, and then that awful fucking leg injury or knee injury happened to Shane Thorne.
And it felt like we needed this way before the injury even came up. It was like, who are these guys? What are they about? And then they got injured, and they were around for months, and I still didn't know who they were.
I don't want to say, lack of better words, it's almost like a blessing in disguise to kind of keep them quiet for a little bit while all this other shit's been going on. And it was such a great video package, and it kind of showcased them since day one, of their whole history. And there's just something so unique about that Aussie personality. You see it in the iconic duo. You've seen it in Emma before, and you see it in the TM61 cats here. That it's awesome that they're really letting them shine like this now. And it really was shocking. They're like, oh, you guys just go off and just say something for a little bit, because WWE doesn't do that, and then them automatically being like, oh, we're just gonna fucking swear a lot, and just beep beep, like all of a sudden. And so it was just so awesome to see that realism out of them. And then even when they did get their PG stuff out, actually played, it was still very legit them.
And the other thing I like about what's going on in NXT now too, kind of shifting gears just a little bit. The tag team scene is cool. I like that there's diversity here. Like the opening match of the show, Heavy Machinery and Riddick Moss and Sabatelli. You know, you've got an undercard opening match thing. You know, guys that are on the up and coming thing. You got TM61 who feel like a mid card tag team coming back and telling that redemption story. Then the main event, the Street Profits, who, you know, again, an up and coming team getting a chance at a main event versus former former champions, the Authors of Pain. And so just telling those stories of different positions on the card, different positions in climbing to the top of the Street Profits, looking like they're not quite ready for that main event yet because the Authors of Pain just beat the shit out of them and then they won.
Well, on that note too, you just get the announcement of War Machine the day before, so you see what's coming in as well.
Right. So the competition staying fierce. So I really enjoy the tag team side of things in NXT because you get guys at all different levels, or teams rather, at all different levels. So really cool stuff there. But yeah, Authors of Pain win with the last chapter after hitting the Super Collider. I love the Street Profits though coming out. This is their first big main event. They got new white gear on. What's his name? Clinton Dix has got the Montez Ford's got the sparkly glove on. The fucking the Kiss emblem up on his white jacket. I enjoyed all of that with those guys.
They're just fucking fun. I'll say it every week, and I will bring it up every week. I will never stir the pot, but these guys are fucking fun.
You'll be stirring that pot before 2018's over. Mark my words.
It's not happening. Right. I will not stir the pot.
All right. So since we didn't do Strong Honor this week, let's wrap up this week's Best Pro Wrestling podcast with the Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Now it's time for the Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Satoshi Kojima is a wrestler for New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's in a tag team called Tenkozi. He loves bread, so you can follow him on Twitter at Cozy_Lariat or tune into Strong Honor every week, and I will read the best of Satoshi Kojima's tweets. And this week's is, "Good morning. Recently, I eat rice rather than bread. Because I am Japanese, I also like rice. I will fight today as well. Thank you." So follow the show at BPW Podcast on Twitter. Join the conversation. You don't got Twitter? Check out email, bestprowrestlingpodcast@gmail.com.
Fax us. Oh, wait.
No, don't do that. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/bestprowrestlingpodcast. Make sure you check out sltdwrestling.com for fan articles, Fantasy League, Predictions League. We got the Royal Rumble coming up. Get your predictions in at Single Leg Takedown Wrestling with the Fundamentals, sltdwrestling.com. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for checking out the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Don't forget to check out Strong Honor every week and tune in next week for the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Bye.
Peace.
This matchup is now anything goes.
I was telling them a story.
Shut up.
And that's how I got herpes in both my eyes.
Oh, man, it's totally still recording.
Is her name really pronounced Aliyah?
No.
Oh
no, he's done that for so long.
I know, but I'm looking at how it's spelled. I'm like, oh fuck, it is spelled like that.
That's just how it's spelled like that. So that's how I've always just said it.
Oh man,
Aliyah.